In January 1947, a woman named Betty Berzinger was out for a morning walk with her daughter along South Norton Avenue in Los Angeles. What started as a regular day quickly turned into a nightmare. In an empty lot, Betty noticed what looked like a mannequin lying on the ground. But as she approached, she realized it wasn't a mannequin at all. It was the naked body of a young woman, carefully severed in half at the waist. Her face was mutilated, carved into a twisted smile, her body positioned deliberately. Horrified, Betty contacted the police, and soon, one of the most infamous murder investigations in Hollywood history was underway. The Los Angeles Police Department identified the victim as 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, but the public would soon know her by another name, the Black Dahlia, a nickname inspired by her dark hair and a rumored love for dark clothing. Elizabeth's tragic story captured the fascination of Los Angeles, and soon the whole country was engrossed in the dark mystery surrounding her life and brutal death. As detectives began investigating Elizabeth's murder, they uncovered a complicated, restless life. Elizabeth had grown up in Massachusetts, where her family struggled after her father abandoned them. She spent her early life moving around and eventually ended up in Hollywood, chasing dreams of stardom like so many young women of her time. Known to friends as Beth, she had striking looks and a charm that drew people to her. But behind her beauty was a life of hardship and disappointment. She drifted between cities, lived off the kindness of friends, and frequented bars and nightclubs. While she dreamed of breaking into the film industry, her Hollywood aspirations remained out of reach. The press seized on the story and quickly painted Elizabeth as a mysterious, even dangerous woman. They sensationalized her as a femme fatale, speculating that her lifestyle had led her to a tragic end. However, there was little truth to the rumors. Elizabeth was struggling, like many young people in Hollywood, hoping for a break and doing what she could to survive. But in death, she became a character in a dark Hollywood tale, and the nickname Black Dahlia stuck, adding an eerie mystique to her story. The Los Angeles Police Department launched a massive investigation, interviewing over 150 suspects and pursuing every possible lead. Detectives spoke to people from all corners of Elizabeth's life, friends, acquaintances, old lovers, and new ones, trying to piece together what might have led to her tragic death. But each lead led to another mystery. As police delved into her past, they found Elizabeth's life full of contrasts. On one hand, she was described as friendly and outgoing. On the other, she seemed to struggle to find her place in a city full of broken dreams. For months, the police were swamped with tips and theories, and the press continued to fuel public interest. People speculated about who could have done this and why. But one man eventually stood out as a prime suspect, Dr. George Hodel. A wealthy, well-connected physician in Los Angeles, Hodel was known for his charm, but also for his darker side. Over the years, he had established himself in high society, but there were rumors about his bizarre and sometimes twisted lifestyle. Hodel's son, Steve Hodel, who was a retired Los Angeles Police Department detective, would later come forward with his own investigation, claiming that his father was, in fact, the Black Dahlia's killer. According to Steve, his father had the surgical knowledge to perform the kind of precise cuts that were found on Elizabeth's body. As Steve dug deeper into his father's life, he uncovered photographs of a woman who resembled Elizabeth and details suggesting that George Hodel could have indeed been involved. Even more chilling, Steve discovered that his father had been under LAPD surveillance back in the 1940s, suspected not only of Elizabeth's murder but possibly of other crimes as well. However, George Hodel was never formally charged. While Steve's claims gained attention, they were met with skepticism by some, as no direct evidence ever conclusively tied George Hodel to the murder. Even with his medical background and questionable activities, he remained just one of the many suspects in a long line of dead-end leads. In the meantime, other suspects emerged over the years. Some believed that Elizabeth had been entangled in a love triangle or crossed paths with someone who harbored ill intentions. Theories ranged from rejected lovers to jealous rivals, but none were ever substantiated. One popular theory suggested that Mark Hansen, a nightclub owner who knew Elizabeth and was familiar with her circle, might have had a motive. Still, like the others, this lead went nowhere. As time passed, the Black Dahlia case grew cold. Police followed every clue, every whisper, but each time they reached a dead end. The case faded from the police department's active investigations, yet it remained very much alive in the public's imagination. Elizabeth's short story continued to attract writers, filmmakers, and true crime enthusiasts, each hoping to uncover the truth behind her murder. But despite countless books, films, and conspiracy theories, the case remains unsolved. Elizabeth Short's tragic death has since become a dark symbol of Hollywood's hidden dangers. Her story is a haunting reminder that beneath the city's glitz and glamour, there are shadows, places where dreams can turn to nightmares. Over the years, the Black Dahlia has become almost mythic, a figure symbolizing the city's forgotten souls and unrealized dreams. Her case endures as one of the most infamous and chilling unsolved mysteries in American history. The truth of who killed Elizabeth Short may never be known. Her story has lingered for generations, a tale of ambition, beauty, and tragedy that remains just as captivating and as haunting as it was in 1947. To this day, Elizabeth's memory endures, not just as a victim of one of Hollywood's most brutal murders, but as a young woman whose dreams were forever overshadowed by a darkness she couldn't escape.